Good afternoon. Welcome to the Unto Theolore Ministries channel. Please subscribe, like, and share. Please consider contributing to the ministry, for our primary ministry is to help the ones in jail or in nursing home. And when we go to those local jails and nursing homes, we need Bibles and other printings to hand out to these that are so often overlooked. Please help us reach these needed souls. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the video description. We are also looking to partner with a few Christian businesses as an affiliate. Look into the video description for hyperlinks. Thank you.
Good evening, friends, neighbors, brothers, and sisters in Christ. Thank you for stopping by the Unto Thee, O Lord YouTube channel. In this discussion today, we are going to talk about the big D, and I don't mean Dallas. We are talking about divorce. Yes, Jesus has said that he hates divorce. But does that mean we cannot divorce? There is only a few reasons why we should divorce. Biblically speaking, 2 reasons why we can divorce. But let's first take a look at a few things. In my bachelor's degree, as a part of my minor, which is in family and child studies, one of my teachers there said that she can pretty much guarantee when a divorce is going to happen. Whenever she explained it, I thought, no, that can't be true. But as I have learned, that was and still is an accurate statement. And it says it right in the Bible. It says it right in the Bible. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 5. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. Basically, it is saying, and well, if you read the whole of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 as a whole, it is saying that it is, how do I really say it without just being blunt about it? Sex, okay? It is wrong for the woman to withhold sex from the man because, and you fill in the blank. It is also wrong for the man to withhold sex from the woman because of whatever reason. And this is becoming a little uncomfortable, I guess, to then talk about. It isn't that, because, Christians think of sex. Oh no, really? But yeah, God gave us sex to the married couple. Okay? That is our enjoyment here on earth. But yet women complain that men are done way too early. How is the man going to be able to extend his time if he is constantly being denied sex? It takes practice to then last longer and longer. Okay? You are not helping if you are not engaging in it more to help him build his endurance. Eventually, all this lack of sex, whenever the wife does want some, he can't do it because of the constant negativity. For most men, it starts to wear and tear. Some people try to deny the power of words we have. But it is true. If you are constantly demeaning your spouse, it is going to eventually affect that person, and it's going to eventually affect the intimate time you two spend with each other, if after a while you guys ever do finally get or try to be intimate again. Now, I am not at all advocating for every night, although for us guys that is a great thing, but I'm not advocating for every night. But there needs to be a good consistency of a sexual relationship between the husband and the wife. And as a Christian counselor, because it almost befalls upon a Christian preacher, whether if they are trained or not, as a counselor, they are oftentimes called to then do some counseling. Okay? But I am not only a preacher, but I have taken several courses in family and child development. Family starts with husband and wife, right? Okay. At least once a week. More opting towards the twice a week would be a good medium. Okay? That of the more the sex during the week, the better things are. Mark Gungor, a hilarious preacher and a marriage counselor. You can find his stuff on YouTube. Mark Gungor. Mark Gungor. Funny. But how he have said it, and I really kind of have a hard time with how he have phrased it. Sex makes you stupid. Okay, blind would be maybe that of a better term for it, because the more the sex that goes on, the less you see the small problems in your mate, in your spouse, okay? The that of the more blind you become to their little errors. That drives other that drives other marriages nuts because of no sex. His sidekick, and it's been a while since I've watched his stuff. His sidekick it is Dehebi, at which his wife's name is also Dehebi, but they are two actual different Dehebis. That of his sidekick on the show said that when she was younger, I am guessing before she got saved, that when she was having sex with a guy, it was great and fun and all that, but that of the moment they broke up and stopped having sex, she started to see how much of a jerk he was, what kind of problems he was having. See, she was blind to all that stuff. While as long as they was having sex, engaging in sex, we become blind to our mate's imperfections. Is sex important? Yes, God said it is important. Now, let's get into what is really the deal about this particular video. Let me find those verses again. Let me put you on pause and then I'll come back. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm back. I have had to find that of the verses again. So let's go to Matthew 19, verses 8 and 9. All right, Matthew 19, verses 8 and 9. He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and it shall be and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whosoever marrieth her which is putteth away doth commit adultery. Okay. Except it be for fornication. Let's see what the Greek says about this word G, 4204, harlotry. And or idolatry. Harlotry including adultery and incest. Okay. I am going to be putting out another video going into a bit more detail about the two different types of adultery. Okay, it isn't just a sexual relationship. There are two types of adultery, and I will cover that in an upcoming video. So, except it be for fornication and marry another committeth adultery, and that Greek word is G3429. To commit adultery. Oh boy, that is not saying much. Okay, let's go to that of Mr. Webster. just as soon as this slow, very slow program goes to Webster. See, that is what I like about eSword. Webster is already in this here, and so therefore you can go to the Webster tab and look up words. It is really nice and it's free, and I have got that of and I have already got that of a video giving you a brief overview of what eSword is. It is, let me get to it, video number, where is it? Oh. Okay. Okay, 13-eSword, okay? I have got that of a screenshot showing you all of the different things about eSword. And yes, this one is free. As I stated in that one particular video, I had to buy a $300 or $350 program called Accordance. And this does more than that $300 or $350 program, and it's free. Okay, so Webster's Dictionary defines adultery as a violation of the marriage bed, a crime or a civil injury which introduces or may introduce into a family a spurious offspring. Okay, and then it goes into a history from it is of our Lacercalia etiquette. In common usage, adultery means the unfaithfulness of any married person to the marriage bed. In the England Parliament grant absolute divorce for infidelity. Okay. Here, okay, this one on, okay. But this is what Jesus said, except it be for adultery. Now, while that of Webster defines it as a violation of the marriage bed, okay, when we go into details about the marriage bed, does it mean sexually alone? I think not. Should a person remain married to another that is not upholding the marital vows to love, honor, and cherish till death do us part? Love. Does love abuse? No, it does not. Let's see here. Where is that verse? I would think that we all know the verse that I am about to go to. Whoops. Okay, I am about to go to 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. Again, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. Okay. It is talking about love is. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It Love is not vain. Love is not puffed up. Although that of the King James uses the term charity, let's take a look at what Greek says. G26. Okay, according to Greek, this is love, but keep in mind Greek has 4 different types of love. And so that is probably why the King James Committee chose the word it is of a charity instead, so that it can be differentiated from the other types of love. Because when you are giving love in this manner, you are giving it charitably. Okay, if that is a word. You are giving it in charity. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. Love does not behave itself unseemingly. When one spouse abuses another, that's not love. That is breaking the marital vows. That then becomes adultery. Just to say, I don't love you anymore, or to then say, I love you, but I am not in love with you, that is not a good reason to say that we are always broke. That is not adultery. Before we condemn people for divorce, maybe we should find out the why. Maybe we should be more compassionate towards the ones that felt they had no other choice. Because abuse, there is one of 2 things to do. Well, 3 things. 1, you then stay in it, and it will continue to happen. 2, make that person go through counseling and help them change their attitude in life. Or 3, you just have to leave. That second one, it is the preferred, because sometimes a person grew up in that kind of a family and knows no other way. Let me say that again. Sometimes that person grew up in that kind of a family and knows no other way. If they are willing to try to change, get them into counseling. Make sure they continue to go to counseling. Get them into classes to help them learn the better way to treat the spouse. I had to make that conscious decision not to be like my parents were when I had my first child. He is now 14 years old, and I am nearly 180 degrees opposite from how my parents treat me. But I knew that how they treated me was wrong, and I made that conscious decision not to treat my children that same way. And it is a hard road. Notice I used a present tense. I am not going to tell you how old I am, but it is a hard road to make that conscious decision, but I choose to do better than what my parents did. Have I gotten mad that of a time or two? Yeah, but we all do. For the most part, over 99%, I am better than my parents. And that is one humongous leap in changing. In one of the classes I have taken, we had to basically give a brief outlook of our life, and on the slide I had that of an apple tree up, and then I had an apple fall down off of the tree, and then it grew legs and ran. Well, that is how I view that I did. I will see if I can find it, but it will probably be faster if I just make that of a brand new slide of it. And I will add it to the end of this video of actually what it looked like when I did it. But the old saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, well, I fell and ran. And you can too. You can run away from your past, your history, and make a better life for the next generation. But you've got to consciously do it first. That's the key. You've got to consciously do it first. Okay, back to... Nope, where is it? And like I said, yes, God hates it whenever we divorce. That is found in Malachi 2:16 for the ones that wants to take a look at it. And that he hates sin. We find that all over, but one fine example is Galatians 5:19 through 21. Yet in my previous video I have just posted along with this one, it talks about the two unforgivable sins. And divorce is not one of the two unforgivable sins. We as Christians and we as a congregation needs to stop thinking that divorce is an unforgivable sin. Because it's not on the list. I haven't found anywhere in the Bible that says divorce is an unforgivable sin. If you know of it, post it down below. But I haven't found one yet. The Bible says divorce is a sin, but it is not an unforgivable sin. Okay? And that of the other verse I have on this particular thing is 1 John 2, 1 and 2. Let's take a look at that. 1 John 1 verses... Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back to move my notes. 1 John 2 verses 1 and 2. Okay. I was off by one chapter. Sorry about that. So, 1 John 2 verses 1 and 2. My little children, these things I write unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous, and he is the propitiation for our sin, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. Okay, we have an advocate, a supreme high priest, although that phrase is not in the Bible. It just says that Jesus is our new high priest. Well, in the Old Testament there was high priests, but Jesus is our supreme high priest. There is nobody higher, because Jesus said that nobody comes to the Father except through him. Did you hear that, Catholics? Nobody comes to the Father except through Jesus Christ. Not through Mary, not through the Pope, not through the local Catholic priest, only through Jesus. Okay? So, we have learned that there is a couple of reasons why a person can get a divorce, and it is biblically acceptable. Why don't we first find out the why they got a divorce before we say anything? And that we need to stop treating it like as an unforgivable sin. Okay? Because it is not an unforgivable sin. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7, and I don't remember the exact verse. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Yeah. I'm married. Okay, I am not seeing it. It might be in the first half. Okay, well, it looks like it is at the first part of the chapter. And they will basically here I was looking at the second half, or the back half of the chapter. First 1 Corinthians 7 verse 1. Now concerning the things wherefore ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife it is of benevolence, and likewise the wife unto the husband. Again, here is the sex thing. Satisfy each other. It is basically what it's saying. The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. And we are talking about sex. Okay? Commit to each other in sex so that you two can grow stronger together. That is what it is about. You two growing stronger together. Okay, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with a consent time, that ye may give yourself to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. But I speak by permission and not of commandment, for I would that all men were even as myself, but every man has a proper gift of God, one after this manner and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and the widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I, at which Paul was I think the only disciple not married. Yes, Peter was married. That of the alleged Catholic first pope was a married man. Go figure. Here is the point I am speaking of again. Verse 8, second half. Well, let's go with the whole verse. I say therefore to the unmarried and to the widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Okay? Yes, it is hard being single after you have bitten the forbidden fruit of sex. That is, if it's done before marriage. If it is done within the marriage, sex is permitted within the marriage. But it is hard once you are no longer a virgin to then not do it anymore. And so therefore Paul then commands, if they cannot contain, let them marry. And in marriage, sex is permissible. Again, we as Christians and as a congregation needs to stop treating divorce as if it is an unforgivable sin. It's a sin. We all have sinned. John 3:16, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. What is your sin that you are hiding? Okay, let's show these people that did get married that God still loves them. Okay, thank you and have a blessed day.